Hi, this is Lindsay from the Homey Life, and I thought while I go about my day just doing chores, I wanted to share with you some homemaking tips to make your everyday life easier. One of my very first tips is to keep your staples stocked. It's pretty hard to make a good, nourishing meal if you don't have certain things on hand. So, when I'm talking about staples, I'm talking about things like, for example, pantry items like your spices for flavoring, pasta, rice, oils or butter for cooking. You can have things like canned tuna or salmon, long storage vegetables like onions, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Some fridge staples might include your dairy products, cheese, fruit, vegetables. And I always personally love to have my freezer stocked with meats. I like to have some frozen vegetables on hand, like frozen peas and carrots. And I like to even make my own sourdough products, which I can then freeze as well. If you can keep staples on hand, it really isn't hard to then be able to whip up a meal with the things you have. For example, if you have a can of tuna and you have some pasta and pasta sauce and just a few spices, you can easily make a tuna pasta or tuna pasta bake, which my kids absolutely love. Or if you had some rice and canned salmon and some spices and a little bit of olive oil, you can make a really delicious dish just with those items. Pantry staples will look different from family to family, but you know what you use the most in your family, so try to always keep some on hand and just make a list when you're running low. My second homemaking tip is to take meat out ahead of time. The worst thing is having everything you need, but then there's no meat thawed. While there are some things like mince that you can de-thaw pretty easily, it really does make putting a meal together that much harder when there's nothing already thawed and ready. So even if you can the night before, take some meat out of the freezer, or maybe you want to take several different things like steak out, roast chicken, and a few things out of the freezer, and you know you're going to use them up throughout the week, you're already one step ahead for the whole entire week for making dinners. You don't have to know exactly what you're going to make at the moment, but as long as you have some meat out, you will be able to make something. My third tip is to always have a grocery list on hand. So have a piece of paper and a pen somewhere easy for you to access, so when you're running low or if you've run out of something, you can quickly and easily write it down. I can't tell you how many times I think, oh, I'm going to remember that when I go to the grocery shops, or I'm going to remember to write that down later, and I do not. And then I go grocery shopping and I didn't buy the item that I really wanted because I didn't write it down. We mothers have too much to think about all the time to have something else in the back of our mind that we're trying to remember. If you can, take less pressure off yourself and just write it down, and you no longer have to worry about it. My tip number 4 is to always have some really easy, quick go-to meals on hand. So these are meals that you know that you can whip up in like 30 minutes or less when you have nothing else planned. You might not even have meat thawed, but you have all the staples you need pretty much always on hand. My example of that is doing tuna pasta for myself. My kids love it. It's really quick and really easy to make. I always have pasta. I generally always have cans of tuna, and I always keep spices on hand and pasta sauce. And I can whip that up in about 15 minutes. Or you might have different go-to meals that you really like that you know are quick and easy, even if it's cooking sandwiches, doing breakfast for dinner, just having some other quick go-to meals that you know how to do well and you always have the ingredients will really make life that much easier. My next homemaking tip is to pre-prep meals if you can. If you have some time during the day, I highly recommend grating some cheese, chopping up some vegetables that you know you're going to put into your meals later on, prepping sandwich bread if you know you want that for your dinner, Or you might even take one day in the week where you have your meals planned and you're just chopping up a bunch of onions and carrots and cucumbers, just things that you already know that you will definitely use throughout the week. It will make your life that much easier, quicker to have everything already pre-chopped, ready to go for you. You'll be amazed at how much quicker meals come together when the items are already pre-done for you. Your future self will definitely thank you, I promise. Now, some laundry tips that I want to share is, if you can, start your laundry the night before. And what I mean by this is simply organize your laundry into the piles that you're going to wash. Fill your laundry machine with what you plan on washing first up the next morning. You can even put the capsule or laundry powder into it, so that all you have to do when you wake up in the morning is turn on your laundry machine and press start. And that's already something productive that you have going for the next day. Another thing I like to do personally is I rather just do a little laundry 4 days a week. I'll put 1, maybe 2 loads in, and I can easily then hang that out to dry, fold it, and put it away in one day. This is just now a routine. It keeps things flowing in the home, and it leads to less stress and not an overload of a huge pile of laundry that needs to get washed, or a huge pile of laundry that needs to get folded and put away. Now, this is something I'm really big on. I like to do things the night before to help with the next day's flow. So one of the things, for example, is closing the kitchen. Once you know all your meals are done and you're not going to be cooking anymore, that's it for the kitchen. We close it down. And what I mean by this is all dishes get washed, whether it's hand washed and dried or put away in the dishwasher to get washed that night or the next morning, however you do it. All dishes are out of the sink, are off the counter, and the counter gets cleaned, and the kitchen is ready for the next day. I know personally that starting the next day with already dishes in the sink and dirty counters is not a great start. Knowing that you have to cook breakfast and wash dishes again is just not fun. So if you can, tidy your kitchen the night before. It will really make for an easier day. Another thing I do is before the kids go to bed, so after they're all done eating, they're done playing, we're about to do our bedtime routine, we'll all get together and do a quick 10-minute pickup. They pick up their toys, I'll help pick up any random bits and pieces, and you will be amazed at how much cleaner your house can get done in just 10 minutes. That's all you need, 10 minutes. You can wipe down counters, you can do your thing, kids pick up their toys, they know exactly where it goes, and that will just make for a nice clean home, and you can start the next day fresh. How I mentioned with cleaning is I like to also have some sort of a cleaning schedule, which isn't anything strict. Having some sort of schedule or cleaning rhythm can really help get things done without being overloaded or stressed. You're just doing a little bit of cleaning every day, and that way you have a neat and tidy home, but you're not getting burnt out. I have actually written a whole blog post on how to create your own cleaning schedule / rhythm, which I'll link below. And this just helps to make sure that everything you want to get done gets done, but in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming. For example, on Mondays, let's just say I like to clean out my fridge, and then Tuesdays are my grocery shopping days, so that's when I'll fill the fridge again. Wednesday, I will do laundry and let's say vacuum the house. Thursday, I will, let's say, mop and clean the bathroom. Friday might be my clean the kitchen day. And also laundry again. Saturday is my day of rest personally. I think we all should have one day a week where we do not have to worry about any chores. But that's just like a quick kind of example. It's just about doing a little bit every day, and you're never overwhelmed with having to do a lot of housework in one day. Now, the last tip I want to share with you, and a very important tip actually, is decluttering your home. If you really want to change your life and the way your home feels, you really want to start decluttering. Now, I wrote also a post about this that's really in depth on how to declutter your home without stress, of course. You don't want to have that huge amount of stress. It's like the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's the same thing with decluttering your home. How do you declutter your home? Well, you go one room at a time, and you can take it even farther and go one spot in a room at a time. For example, you might just want to do 1 or 2 drawers in a room, maybe just the closet that's in that room. And you're just focusing on one specific area at a time until slowly your whole entire house becomes decluttered. This is so big on creating peace and joy and just finding a cleaner, more organized home. When everything has a spot and everyone knows where things go, your home will naturally just become tidier. Just remember that everything you keep in your home is something that you're going to have to take care of. Whether you're looking at it and it's causing you stress, or you have to keep cleaning it, de-dusting it, washing it, whatever it may be, or putting it away, whatever it is, everything you keep is something that you're going to have to take care of in the end. So if you can go through, get rid of the rubbish, donate, and just keep what you really want, you will find your home will run a lot smoother. I'll link below all the different posts that will help you with your homemaking journey and that I have talked about in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more cooking from scratch and homemaking tips. I make a video every single week, and I'd love to see you again. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video.